Hello and welcome to Linux World. In today's topic, we are going to continue in our logical volume management series. We're going to talk about volume groups in detail. So let's get started and see what we have on our system to play around with. So we are logged into a Red Hat 9 system, I believe. We can check by this command, OS release. We are on 9.4. Okay. And let's check if we have any disks on the system to play around with. LSBLK. So the first disk is the system disk, has all the system related file systems. Second one is SDB. It's 10 gigs in size, out of which I have created two partitions, SDB1, which is 1 gig, SDB2, which is 2 gigs. So we'll create a few more to play around to practice volume group. So to do that, I will go inside the disk again, F disk. We have covered this partitioning the disks in another video in this series. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that one first. So we'll go inside the disk SDB. Since we have space left, we only use 3 gigs. /dev/SDB. So this disk is currently in use. Repartitioning is probably a bad idea. It's recommended to unmount all file systems and swap off all swap partitions. So we are going to create a new partition because we know we have space on here. So we can create up to 128 partitions. We have used 2. So right now the default is SDB3, so we will take that default. Third partition. Start your starting point wherever you want, end it at 1 gig. Okay, and we are going to change the partition type to LVM since we're going to be using this for LVM. So we'll type T to change the type, and it's going to be for partition number 3. I don't know the ID, so I'll type capital L to list all the codes. So let's find LVM. So here it is. 30 is for Linux LVM. Q to get out of there. Type in 30. Press enter. So we'll do P to print our current configuration. So we have created SDB3, starting point, ending point. It's going to be 1 gig. And the type is Linux LVM. So since I'm good with that, I want to save and quit. M for help to save and quit. The command is W to write and save and quit right here. W. If you want to quit without making any changes, you can type Q. I'll type W. And we can do LSBLK and see that our new partition has been created. We'll just create 2 more disks to play around with. Dev SDB, new partition for default plus 1 gig. Okay, and change the type to 30, I believe. Value out of range. For default it's 4. 30. Print LVM. Write my changes. Okay, let's do it again. New disk 5. Starting point is good. Plus 1 gig. Change the type for 5. 30. Print. Looks good. Write my changes and clear the screen out. Now we have 3 disks to play with. SDB3, 4, and 5, 1 gig each. So let's start with volume group. Okay. The first command we're going to do is we're going to create a volume group. So we know that first we need to define a physical volume. So if we're going to be using SDB3, we need to do a pv create /dev SDB3, define it as a physical volume first, and then we can create a volume group. But we don't have to do this step. VG create will do both. So let's see that. VG create, name of the VG is going to be data VG. Let's take that and we're going to do dev SDB3. Let's just make sure that's not in use. Keep that LSBLK up here. So SDB3 is not in use. So VG create data VG. Let's check the VGs that are on the system first. VGS. So there's a root VG and a test VG. So data VG is, that name is not taken. So let's do VG create data VG /dev SDB3. So you see that physical volume SDB3 has been successfully created and volume group data VG has been successfully created. So it creates the physical volume automatically when you create a VG. So you don't have to do in 2 separate commands. If you do VGS now, you can see that our newly created data VG is there. It has about 1 gig free. It has 1 PV, no LVs. Okay. So if I do PVS, it will show that SDB3 has a volume group, data VG, and has about 1 gig free. Total size and total free. Okay. All right. So let's look at some other commands. So let's remove VG, remove data VG, so SDB3. You can remove it like this. Volume group data VG successfully removed. We can create a volume group with 2 disks at the same time. So if you want to use these 2, you can create VG create data VG /dev SDB3 /dev SDB4, like so. So if we do PV scan, you can see that SDB3 and 4 has data VG belonging to it. Okay. If I do VGS, you can see that data VG has 2 PVs, physical volumes. See up here, these 2 lines. Okay. So you can create with 2 disks, like so. You can do VG display data VG to see a different type of output. It'll give you this whole thing. VG name, format, access, current PVs, and there are 2 PVs. You can see up here, 2 PVs, SDB3 and 4. You saw that with the PV scan. Okay. All right, so that's VG display command, and we can rename the VG. So if we do VGS, we can change the name for data VG. VG rename data VG. Okay, we can change it to data underscore VG, like that. So if we do VG scan now, the name is changed. You can see that here. That was renaming it. Okay, another command is VG scan. Could give you some information. Okay, you can reduce a volume group from a disk. So if you do PVS, you see that data VG is belonging to STB3 and STB4. You can reduce the volume group from 4. Right now there's nothing mounted, no volume, logical volume created, so we could do that. So VG, if you had a file system mounted and created, you have to unmount it first and then do this. Okay, VG reduce data VG from /def/STB4. Okay, so we do PVS now. See that data VG STB4 is empty and can be used with other volume groups. Remove a volume group with let's do PVS VG remove data VG. Now we do PVS again. PVS data VG is gone. Okay, you can also remove these from a physical volume. If you want to use these for other purposes, we could do that. You can PV remove, but it's up to you. So that's it, folks, for volume group usage. Next video I will be talking about managing logical volumes. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.